marred by insecurity, impunity, and outright disrespect for the people by the political leadership. Since the year 2000, hundreds of persons have been killed in Rivers State, some in the most bizarre manner due to political violence. Several companies have either closed down or moved out of Rivers State to peaceful states, forcing the rate of unemployment to rise to 41.8% by the third quarter of 2017, as against the national average of 18.8%. And these are not my figures. These are from the National Bureau of Statistics. For every 10 persons you meet in the streets of Rivers State, over 4 have nothing to do. They are unemployed. And out of the remaining 6, another 2 or 3 are just getting by without enough to put bread on the table. They are underemployed. And unemployment is when a graduate works as a steward in your house. The UNDP Nigeria Human Development Report 2016 reveals that 58.9% of Rivers people are downright poor. 58.9% of Rivers people are downright poor. And more of our people are thrown into destitution even now. These are solid facts and figures. Recently, the Business Rivers Group raised an alarm that Rivers State is going down the hill with the exit of multinationals and other businesses. The group said Port Harcourt was bleeding by the number of family heads and breadwinners that relocate to Lagos every day, thereby transferring a huge yearly spending budget to Lagos. Quoting the latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics, the group said that Rivers State is 36th out of 37 states and the Federal Capital Territory in the time spent on land registration. 36 states do it better than us, or 35, and the Federal Capital Territory. That's unfortunate. Port Harcourt is 32 on the latest ranking on the ease of doing business. And while Lagos ports are full, those in Port Harcourt are not busy at all. It is instructive that in 1999, at the inception of the Fourth Republic, Rivers State and Lagos State were almost at par in broad socioeconomic terms. This was despite the fact that Lagos had been the capital of Nigeria until the coming of Abuja. Both states have similar topography, seaports, international airports, and rail system. Rivers State even had a slight edge over Lagos, as it was considered safer in 1999, and has oil and international oil companies were by military decree expected to all have their headquarters in Port Harcourt. Ironically, Lagos State is today the 4th largest economy in Africa. Rivers State is struggling to find her feet. Lagos State is on autopilot. The annual budget of Rivers State in the last 2 years is lower than the internally generated revenue of Lagos. To add to this injury, recent statistics show that of every 100 kidnappings in Nigeria, 60 of those take place in Rivers State. To cap it, Rivers State has the highest misery index in Nigeria. And of course, this decline started about 20 years ago with the return of the country to democracy and serves as a sad testimonial to the vision and enterprise of our founding fathers. Those of them who are alive are in shock that in their lifetime, their efforts at building the state can be so drastically reversed, while those who have passed on must be turning in their graves. It is significant that while the founding fathers had succeeded under restrictive regime of the military era, the democratic era since 1999 has witnessed poor growth. The average Rivers person has been impoverished, traumatized, and lost self-esteem. The happiness and economic well-being of the individual Rivers person has taken the backseat in governance. Our people are poor and homeless, and the elderly are abandoned. Our youths are jobless, and our children are out of school. There is no gainsaying that Rivers State has lost its rightful status in the Committee of Nigerian States, a state that is abundantly rich in human and natural resources, but is a victim of leaders who have their eyes high up. In fact, too high to see the ordinary people. The consequences of such leadership aloofness is that the people have become so traumatized, and many are beginning to see crumbs from the table of governance as the main meal. Rivers State has had leaders who use our people as ladders to power and dump them afterwards as worthless observers. It is therefore undisputable that the problems of Rivers State is essentially that of political leadership. Just as John Maxwell puts it, everything rises and falls with leadership. Every great achievement is a dream before it becomes reality, said Henry Kissinger, while reviewing the transformation that Singapore had become. Singapore's amazing rags to riches story is the story of one man's vision and his tenacity in pursuing it to fruition. Leadership plays a key role in the advancement or decline of any human society. It is a foundation that determines progress or the absence of it. It is not the absence of natural resources that hinders growth, or the age of a nation that determines growth. Countries like Egypt and India are 2,000 years old but are said to be poor countries, whereas Canada and New Zealand, which were insignificant 200 years ago, are developed and rich countries. It also does not depend on the availability of natural resources, but human resources. Japan, for instance, has a small mountainous territory, unsuitable for even agriculture or farming. But it is about the third in world economy. She imports raw materials from all over the world and exports manufactured products. Switzerland does not have cocoa, but produces the best chocolates in the world. The pertinent question to ask, therefore, at this point is, what purpose has political leadership served Rivers people since 1999? This is the question that should engage Rivers people. Have we had a leader that envisions a future where the greatness of Rivers State is the focus? Have we had a leader